Sunwolves for 2020. Last season for them. How are they going to go? Probably the bottom of the table is what the bookies have got you thinking. And a whole lot of changes to the squad from last year. There are very, very few players who have retained a place with the Sunwolves. Yeah, I won't go over all the players that are left, but it is a phenomenal amount of guys. I mean, the main guys you're thinking of with the Sunwolves last year is probably the likes of Hayden Parker. He was cooking goals like nobody's business. I don't remember how many games Eddie Quirk played for them last year. Vosiathol was pretty good. He flirted with the back row and with the midfield, which was a bit of an interesting switch. All those guys are gone. Masarewa had a great season. Van den Hever actually had a pretty decent season. Those guys are gone. The coach Tony Brown is gone. So it's a much changed lineup for the Sunwolves this year. I'll go kind of briefly over the squad. Some of these guys don't know them. Some of them you know pretty well, and some of them are kind of in the middle. But I will take any advice, because some of these guys, it seems, have been in Japan for a while. So any of you guys who are Japan rugby buffs or follow the top league kind of thing might actually have a bit more insight than me in this for sure. But props, and I've not included the guys in the training squad. There are some there. Jared Adams, I couldn't remember him, but I asked my old man, hey, who's this Jared Adams guy? He used to play for Auckland. He said he's that dirty, and then a swear word, from Suburbs, which is a club team. I think he played in 2018 when we won the Mitre 10 Cup. So I can't hardly remember him. Sione Asi apparently played for Manawatu. I don't remember him. Chris Eves from the Hurricanes, he's solid. Conrad Van Furen from the Bulls. I don't remember how many games he got last year, to be honest. Hinkus van Veek is one of the stable guys from last year. I think he played for the Barbars at the end of last year. So I can't imagine that's going to be a dominant pack, but hopefully they can at least get some stability. Hookers, Lenny Apisai is from the Blues. He never really got a fair crack at the Blues, but if coaches didn't think he deserved it, then that's what it is. Jaba Bregvadza, the Georgian, he's still there from last year. I think this is second or third season now, but yeah, he's stable. And Efi Ma'afu, who apparently used to play for Queensland Country, it was part of the Reds setup, but I can't remember him for the life of me. So it'll be interesting to see if it's Bregvadza and Apisai or Bregvadza and Ma'afu. We will see how the coach goes. Locks, Ben Hine, Tom Rowe, Michael Stolberg, Corey Thomas, and Kotaro Yatabe. Apparently Yatabe is a Japanese international. I don't remember him. He's only 1.90 m, which is not all that big for a guy in the second row. Tom Rowe played for them last year. Ben Hine, I vaguely remember him from Australia, like the Brumbies, but I couldn't pick him in a lineup. Apparently this Michael Stolberg guy's been in Japan for a while. Likewise, Corey Thomas. So I know last year they had Grant Hadding for a few games, and he's 2 meters plus. So he didn't play that many games. They still managed to kind of get around the fact they didn't have any real tall locks by just going quick. Although, from memory, and I'll chuck the 2019 review if I remember. I've forgotten the last couple of times. I did put it up belatedly, but I'll put the 2019 review there, which has got all the key stats and whatnot from the 2019 season. Not that it's that relevant, because it's pretty much a whole new team. Loose forwards, Mitch Jacobson, who couldn't quite get a crack at the Chiefs. Mateaki Kafatolu, I don't remember him. Wikipedia says he played for Wellington, but I asked my old man, he couldn't remember as well, and he's usually the encyclopedia of kind of New Zealand-based rugby players. Shunsuke Nunomaki, he's played for the Sunwolves before. From memory, he's just like a tackling machine, work rate guy. but he played for Japan. I definitely remember him, like his face. When I saw his face, I was like, I know that guy. So that was encouraging. Brendan O'Connor, Hawke's Bay and Blues guy, previously, did a stint overseas. Tavita Tupou, based in Japan, apparently. I don't remember him. Onehunga Havili and Jake Schatz. Schatz is a former Reds man, played a couple of times for the Wallabies. So, yeah. The Sunwolves have always got a decent back row. It's just the locks that tend to be a bit of a letdown, and the front row often gets really bullied around. I'm not sure if it's the players or if it's the coaching, but they're often kind of on wheels going backwards. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking to make things quick as they can, to just get the ball into open play, which is where they like it. To the backs, nines, you got Rudy Page and Naoto Saito. Rudy Page is a former Springbok, so not a bad thing to have him around. Saito, it says he's come from Waseda University, so I would imagine he's a pretty young and up-and-coming guy looking to get his hands on some Super Rugby experience before the Sunwolves are gone. Garth April, former Stormers guy, so he'll be a useful guy at number 10. I think he'll fill in that spot. Engelbrecht, Fifita, Jackson Hope, and Teo. Jackson Hope is a guy that I think was talked about at the Brumbies, as he was supposed to be kind of another talented player coming through, but never really got a crack. So I'll be interested to see if he gets any minutes. I can't remember if he can cover 10 or not. Engelbrecht's come over from the Stormers. He's versatile as well, can play in the back line almost anywhere, apart from maybe 9 and 10. And Teo, New Zealand-born England international. So he's one of the few kind of real big international names in the squad, getting a crack at Super Rugby as well. The other backs, Dargaville, he's been around the scene for a wee bit. I think he played in Mitre 10 Cup last year, got injured. He played for the Brumbies for a fair bit, useful player. Tautala Tassi. I think I remember him from the Waratahs squad, but I don't remember him getting game time. His profile said he also played NRL, but again, I couldn't pick him in a lineup. And Keisuke Moriya and Yoshizuma Takeda. So, yeah, another couple of Japanese players. There's very few Japanese-born players in the squad, which is a pity, but given the team is on the way out and how well the top league is doing this year, you kind of can't blame players. And it's nice to see the top league doing well on its own. It doesn't need to piggyback onto Super Rugby, but still, it'd be nice to see more Japanese players in the squad for sure. The coach this year is Naoya Okubo, former Japanese international. I think he was the assistant coach. So good to see a Japanese guy in charge, if nothing else, bit of coaching experience for him. But yeah, that wasn't the most insightful look at a squad that I've ever seen. But as I said, I think pace is probably key for these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if the scrum struggles a wee bit. And yeah, well, let's just hope they're an exciting team. And hopefully they don't get embarrassed, but I'm sure there'll be a few big scorelines for them. So I think they've only had one preseason game where they gave some amateur team an absolute hiding. But yeah, for the rest of the season, we'll see how things go. In terms of their fixtures list, they're always going to have a tough one given where they're based. I didn't rate it as particularly good or as particularly bad. First week is at home to the Rebels. Given the top league games seem to have been getting great attendances this year, I'll be curious to see how well attended that one is. Then they're on a bye, which is probably a useful time to have a bye. I think Sunwolves bye in round 1 is probably best, but round 2, nobody really wants it in round 2, but maybe for the Sunwolves, given that their prep time is kind of short, give those guys a bit more time. Then the Chiefs at home, so they don't leave Japan for the first 3 rounds. Then they got trips to face the Reds and the Hurricanes away. Brumbies, Crusaders at home. Rebels, Waratahs away. So it's kind of 2 home, 2 away, and then Reds at home, which is maybe one of the games they'll be targeting to win. And then a bye. So they got a bye pretty much just on the just after the halfway point of the season. Trip to South Africa to face the Lions and the Bulls. 2 games at altitude, not easy. Home against the Jaguares. That one is in Singapore. And then Waratah Stormers at home. It's interesting to see the Stormers are playing in Japan this time rather than Singapore, which it usually is. And the final two games are the Highlanders and the Brumbies away. So the Stormers is their last home game ever. So that should be a sellout, I would imagine. Maybe the Waratahs the week before, maybe the Jaguars the week before that. But yeah, it could be a worse fixture list for a team which is not next to any other country, doesn't have any other teams based in country like some of the other teams do. But yeah, that's the Sunwolves for 2020. Like I said, it was a bit tricky. They've certainly got some guys with some proper Super Rugby experience, the likes of April, the likes of Engelbrecht, international experience with Teo. O'Connor's had loads, and then some other guys who are probably looking to prove themselves, the likes of Jacobson, the likes of Jackson Hope. So yeah, it should Apisai as well. Should be an interesting season. Like I said, hope they don't get embarrassed, but it probably will happen. Hopefully they get a couple of wins, and then this is it for their season and for their existence. Anyway, guys, you guys let me know your thoughts. If any of you guys do have something to add about these players, it's definitely more than welcome. But yeah, cheers, guys. Do it again soon. See you later.